Last fight, when I fought with two injured hands, now I was going up against, a great fighter, so I kind of had to use, more touches, more speed. I had to do stuff that I don't usually do, you know what I mean? But it showed me that I have a lot of heart, and going up against a guy that caliber with two messed up hands, and now that I'm injury free, I feel amazing, and nothing's gonna get in my way for the way forward.
Congratulations, by the way, on a new son to be.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm adding another little champion to my to my family, and it's just more motivation for me to go in there and keep working harder than keep working as hard as I've been working.
The main theme right now for this fight is that you're the one that's experienced. He has a deep amateur pedigree, but it's you who has the experience. Do you see that fight like this, or do you just see him just as another opponent?
I don't really see the amateur as any. I don't see that as, this is not an amateur fight. This is a professional. This is it's a championship fight, 12 rounds. So, he might have an advantage, the first 3 rounds, because of the amateurs. But other than that, 3 rounds don't mean nothing. To me, I've been in there with the better fighters. I've been in there in the bigger venues, bigger fights. This is my 3rd pay-per-view, 3rd or 4th. So I have experience on my side. So it's gonna be different. I don't think he's ever been in anything like this caliber, and I'm gonna show why I'm on a different level.
But David, what do you make of just his antics over the course of the build-up to this fight?
I don't really care about his antics and none of that. To me, all that stuff from him is nervous energy. He knew he bit off a big portion that he can't chew. You know what I mean? And he can say anything he wants. He could act like that I'm RoboCop, like how's he saying that? But at the end of the day, I know exactly what I could do. Every other fighter that I've fought, every high caliber fighter has said the same thing. But once after they get in the ring with me, they all say the same thing. They say David Benavidez is on a different level. So, this is it's going to be the same thing. I'm really focused right now, and I'm very really motivated because I'm excited that I'm gonna go in there and get that WBA belt. I don't have one of those yet, so I'm very excited to add one of those to my collection.
What does it mean when you're saying this is the David Benavidez era?
That this is this is my takeover, you know what I mean? I feel like, as of seeing like fighters in Vegas, I feel like I could really take this over, you know what I mean? I have everything. I give the great fights, we give a lot of entertaining fights, and I really want this for myself. I want to show the people I am the best, and when I go up in there, I think everybody sees what level I'm at. So I'm just excited to, to make my dreams come true and become the face of boxing.
David, Morrell, he wound up responding to the talk in Florida when Outta tested was brought up, and his response was it's fear on your end. It's something you're bringing up as an excuse because there's a fear and you're scared and all those kinds of things.
Not an excuse for shit, but when you go through other fighters that say, hey, I was tested by Outta, but then David Morrell was not tested, it brings a lot of questions up, you know what I mean? I'm not the only fighter that says this. There's been 2 other fighters that say this. They say that David Morrell, we're talking about Betko, they say he was tested the whole camp, David Morrell was not tested, and after the fight, they didn't do no test, no drug test, which is kind of odd to me. But I really don't care about that. Even if it was on steroids, I beat the shit out of them. But, if you're a dirty fighter, you will get exposed. You know what I mean? That's why they were making such a big fucking deal and they didn't want to test. But dirty fighters will be exposed in this game. You know what I mean? And that's not good for the sport, and it's not good for people, to use steroids. So, I'm not going to let that shit slide.
What's the status of that right now, the testing? What is being used?
What?
What is the status of the testing right now? Like, what is being used?
We're being tested because I keep putting pressure on Benavidez, saying that we got to test. And
Isn't it
supposed to
an
be
interim for WBC?
WBC and then WBA.
Okay.
Yeah. So but at the end of the day, these are the high caliber fights that need testing. When I fought Caleb Plant, when I fought Demetrius Andre, we were testing 14 weeks out. You know what I mean? With this one, we barely started testing 9 weeks out. And it's not like I'm asking stuff that I didn't do myself. I've been tested more than Outta by anybody. I've been tested more than anybody. By Outta by anybody. You know what I mean? I've been tested over probably 40 times. So it's not like I'm telling them to do something I didn't do myself. You know what I mean? When I fought Caleb Plant, they wanted to test as soon as we signed the contract. So it's not like I'm asking them to do anything, you know, and then for them to act like, you know, we're making them do something that they're not supposed to do. You know, we're supposed to take VADA tests. You know, it's supposed to be clean boxing. Isn't that why VADA's in boxing? You know what I mean?
What do you, David? What do you say?
Plan to fight better be a Bivol winner after this?
Yeah, you know, that's definitely the plan, you know, to go up there and win the belts. But as of right now, I'm 100% focused on February 1st, David Morrell. And until then, after that, then we can talk about what's going to happen after.
Who won that fight to you?
I thought Bivol won that fight, to be honest with you. It was a close fight. It could have went. No, it couldn't have went either way. I feel like Bivol won most of the rounds. He controlled most of the rounds, and his combination punching was better.
Do you think he wins the rematch?
I think he does.
Yeah. Is it different, or do you think it's more?
I mean, I don't know, because both those fighters are both high caliber fighters, so they can make adjustments. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be the same fight or not. But if it's the same fight, I feel like Bivol wins.
David,
¿En
talking
español un
about.
poquito de tus comentarios generales sobre la pelea de tu rival?
Pues la verdad, yo me siento muy bien ahorita, estoy 100% listo. Ya tenemos 4 meses entrenando para esta pelea y me siento bien, fuerte, y ya estamos listos para ganar el 1 de febrero.
¿De tu rival qué opinas?
Pues es un peleador bueno, tiene un título que yo quiero ahorita, y yo creo que es uno de los mejores peleadores en el peso ahorita. So, va a ser una guerra, pero le vamos a ganar.
David, with all this talk of the VADA testing and everything, like, what do you say to fans who they wonder about a relationship with a guy like Memo? You know, and I know Memo's a hell of a strength coach, but given his past, just while we're
So
talking.
if they were worried about doing fucking steroids and this and that, why the fuck am I the one trying to test more? If we have a guy that we're taking steroids supposedly, like how you're bringing up, why the fuck am I calling for more VADA tests? You answer me that. So if there was anything like that, if anything, I wouldn't even want to test VADA. So why am I calling for VADA? If we're doing anything dirty, why am I calling for VADA? Why am I trying to test more VADA?
I hear you, but the same fans who would ask that, I know the next thing they want to say is Victor Conti has an association with VADA. So sometimes they look at VADA with speculation, you know.
I don't know. I mean, we're calling for the test. We've been doing as much tests. We're making this a clean boxing. You know, steroids shouldn't be taken in for anybody in boxing. So that's why we ramped up the VADA test.
Would you be part of the 24 or 365-day program like Devin
yeah,
Haney?
because I have nothing to hide. I have
Okay.
nothing to hide. They could test me 24/7, 365 days a week. I really don't care.
And David, lastly, man, for me, Morrell, he's saying, you know, in response to the game plan of pressuring him and inflicting punishment on him every round, he feels like, he says you're not going to be able to be as offensive-minded and apply the kind of pressure you're used to applying, because he thinks the power will negate that. What do you think of that, David?
I'm glad he's confident in himself. You know, at the end of the day, we're going into the fight. It could be all speculation, but at the end of the day, he's never felt nothing like this. And I'm going to show why I'm at the level I'm at.
David, you mentioned about being a face of boxing. Is that a new sponsor on your shirt?
It's been my sponsor for the past 2 fights.
Yeah.
Outta Plus, best water in the world. Well, you're not even recording. You can't see it. But yeah, no.
Why? What's good about it? Does it have hydrogen
It
or?
has alkaline and it
Oh,
has pink Himalayan salt in there. You know, so sometimes water is just not enough because it doesn't hold electrolytes. So this adds a pink Himalayan salt, so it gives you that extra electrolytes.
Is that something you'd want in 2025, working with more brands and earning more money outside the ring as well?
More
as
money's
inside
always
it?
better. More money's always better.
Who would be the